Welcome back, my people. Yeah, I'm high as hell. Oh shit. Welcome back, my people. Yeah, I already know. I stays high, man. Another movie review. This movie's called The Little Things, with Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and the guy that played Rami Malek. Alright, this is supposed to be a thriller movie. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna drop some spoilers on this motherfucker. So if y'all don't wanna hear no spoilers or anything like that, just go on about your business, click away, go ahead and click another motherfucking video. So peep, yo. I'm gonna put that shit right here. Shut your mouth. So Denzel Washington, he used to be a detective. Now he's like a sheriff or a sergeant or some shit like that. I think he's a sheriff and shit in some little ass town. While he was a detective, there was like these 5 females that got killed and shit, right? And he could never figure out who the fuck did it or anything like that, you know? So there was this one guy that he thought that he was the one that did it. But I guess he was never tied to any of the crimes and shit. Cause I guess he was like a rapist and shit, a pedophile or whatever the fuck. Rami Malek, he's a detective and he's working on these new cases and shit where these females, you know, they come up dead. They come up dead and on the most gruesome way. But the movie doesn't show you how these females got killed. They just showed you the aftermath. So you just like, okay. So the guy that was a suspect in the other cases when Denzel Washington was a detective, this motherfucker, they questioning him and shit like that. So Denzel Washington, he calls Rami Malek, he calls him up. I was like, hey, ask him about Diana. So the dude is like, how about Diana? Do you know Diana? So the dude starts panicking like, oh shit. So he gets up and he's like, they're in the interrogation room. That's how you say interrogation room. And have the little window, the 2-way window and shit, or the 1-way window basically, because you can only look in. Denzel Washington is at the other end and shit, and the dude is looking like, where is he? I know you're there. The fuck? Alright, all good and good, right? The dude goes home, I guess he shoots himself, boom, that's it. That character is over. That's it. Here comes Jared Leto. That's the guy that played Joker, one of the worst Jokers ever and shit, yo. Like, he wasn't even a bad Joker and shit. It was just like, he came out in the Suicide Squad, by the way. He got like 10 minutes of screen time. That was it. Okay. So anyhow, this dude played the perfect motherfucking.
How's the trunk space?
I know you was the one that killed these females. I know you the one that killed these females. Now, Malik, what's his name again? Fuck is his name, bro? Oh, Rami Malek, the dude from Queens. He's telling Denzel Washington, like, bro, we don't have nothing to tie this motherfucker to these crimes. Nothing at all. Like, what do we have? You know what I'm saying? Denzel was like, man, if you get me into his house, I could find something. So he goes, they come up with this plan and shit where Malik calls him up, right? Rami Malek calls him up. I was like, hey, I'm sorry for everything and shit. Now, mind you, they don't question this motherfucker everything. They have nothing against him. Nothing at all. So he calls him up and he's like, yo, meet me at delis and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Go have a cup of coffee, or not a cup of coffee. Let me buy you a beer or something and shit. So the dude is like, it's right next to your house. Okay. So Jared Leto comes out his house, goes to the little diner, not to the little diner, to the little bar and shit. And he's there. Once he leaves, here comes Denzel Washington, whoosh, and goes right up to his apartment. He lockpicks the door and shit like that, and goes in. He's looking around. Make a long story short, he finds this hidden place on the floor and shit. He takes out the rug, he opens it up, and there's a bunch of newspaper clippings there from all the murders that've been happening and shit like that. That still doesn't tie this nigga to any of these murders. Listen, I could sit there and have a bunch of newspaper clippings and shit about all the fucking shit, all the murders that been happening in Hartford and this and the third. It doesn't make me the murderer. You know what I'm saying? I just like reading about shit like that. True, why would I hide it? Oh, because, you know, I got roommates, I got my kid, my son is here, you know what I'm saying? Nobody needs to know all of that shit. That's my thing. But Jared Leto, he's like, hold on, where the fuck this dude at and shit? The fuck is going on? This nigga calls the police and I guess he called the police and he's like, yo, officer, there's an officer down, whoop-de-woo. He gives him his address and shit. All the popos go over there and shit. So now Denzel has to get out the motherfucking house, go up to the fucking roof and get away and shit. I'm like, yo, leave this dude alone, yo. This motherfucker, yo, you don't have a case against him whatsoever. The reason why I ain't like the movie, because the movie didn't have no ending to it. And I'm gonna tell you why the movie didn't have no ending to it. Jared Leto runs up on Malik, right? The dude from Queens. Runs up on him and shit. And he's like, he's talking to him, woo-de-woo, right? So, the Malik, he's like, put your hands up, put your hands up. He brings out a picture of the latest girl that went missing. And he's like, do you know this girl? Tell me where she at. Tell me where she's at. Tell me where she's at. And the dude is like, oh, I could take you to her. He's like, come on, let's go. This motherfucker takes Malik to a secluded area. He's like, oh, the body is right here. You can start digging. This motherfucker starts digging. He's like, about like 5 minutes later. Now, mind you, Denzel Washington, when all this shit was happening and shit, where Malik took out the gun and everything else, you know what I mean? He went to the store to go get some coffee and shit. While all that shit was happening, here comes Jared Leto, woo-de-woo, and they're in the secluded area now. I'm very terrible when it comes to like telling you stories and movies and shit like that, so just bear with me. This the hood version. He brings him up to this motherfucking place, makes him start digging and shit like that, right? Boom, 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 boom. He's halfway with the first hoe, so now the dude is like, oh, maybe it was over here. Nigga starts digging again and shit. At this moment, I would have been like, you know what, man, fuck you, cuz. Tell me where the fuck this female is at. If not, bring me back home. The dude, Jared Leto, was telling him, like, yo, listen, I'm no killer. I never killed anybody in my fucking life. Never. Which I kind of believed him and shit. Yo, do you know how many crazy people are out here in this world, bro? You be like, bro, how you look? You look crazy. You look like the type of nigga that did something. So I get it. How some people might view this motherfucker as the one. This motherfucker makes him dig up like 5, 6, 7 holes and shit. Yeah, right. Jared Leto starts talking shit to him like, so how's your wife and your 2 daughters and shit like that? Whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be a shame if I paid him a visit. Whoa, all of this and shit. So the dude comes, he grabs a shovel and just hit him right in the motherfucking head. Boom! He died. And of course, it has to be a movie. Denzel Washington arrives like seconds after that. And the So Malik is on the motherfucking ground and shit, sitting down like, oh my god, I can't believe I killed this motherfucker. And I'm like, I can't believe you killed him too, dog. Like, you had no evidence on this motherfucker. None at all. Now, the young girl that's missing, when she went missing, she had like a red beret. Like, I don't know what you call that shit. It's like for her hair. When the parents was talking to Malik, they were like, yo, listen, she had like a red beret, and if you find that, I'm pretty sure you'll find her. So here comes Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington tells him in the coolest motherfucking way. In the coolest motherfucking way. Yo, Denzel Washington is so fucking cool. Like, yo, this motherfucker could make the most boringest movie one of the best. Cause this movie was not all that. It really wasn't. I didn't like the plot. I mean, I did like the plot, because there are plenty of movies like that. I just didn't like the ending, the way they executed everything towards the end and shit like that. Because I'm going to tell you. Spoilers. Spoilers. You know how Malik, the guy from Queens, came and hit that nigga with the shovel. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Almost the same thing had happened to Denzel Washington when he was a detective doing them cases and shit about the females and shit that went missing and got killed and everything else. So he's working the case, right? There's two females. It's him and his partner, Denzel Washington and his partner. There's two females that were found dead and shit. And the killer placed their bodies on the floor, sitting down over a rock. You know what I mean? So imagine you sitting on the kitchen table and you just slump like that. That's how two females. So while he was investigating that, he's investigating. He hears something and he's like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Boom! He shoots the female. I guess one of them had gotten away and went into hiding and then came back. But my whole thing is like, that doesn't make any sense, because how you just going to just hang around where your two friends just got killed? That makes no sense. Don't you think you should have just ran and shit? By the way, I think she was naked too. She should have just ran to go get help. But you just ran half a mile and then came back to just get shot. So the department covered all that shit up. You know what I'm saying? And I guess he couldn't live with himself. His marriage failed. He has two daughters too. It's kind of like, you know, Malik, the guy from Queens. It's kind of like that. So Denzel Washington tells this motherfucker in the coolest way, oh, you gonna bury this man and I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we just gonna forget about everything. Ain't nobody gonna come looking for him. Don't worry about it. You did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? That was him. That was the killer. He was the killer. So Denzel Washington goes back to Jared Leto's apartment and just ransacked through everything. He's looking through everything. Whoa. He doesn't find anything at all that ties this man to these murders. Like, it makes no sense, yo. Movie goes on. Denzel Washington comes back and shit. He gets him and shit. He's like, yo, listen, you live your life, man. Don't let this shit ruin you. Don't worry about it. You did the right thing. You already know he was a killer. No, sir. No. We don't know if he was a killer. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? The dude goes back to his wife and shit and his kids or whatever. I don't know how the mail works in the movie, but he... as a matter of fact, no. Hold on. Denzel Washington, his ex-partner detective, goes to Malik, the guy from Queen's house, and hands the wife a yellow envelope and shit. He's like, oh yeah, this is for Malik and shit. The guy from Queens. This was sent to him by Denzel. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna give it to him and shit. And he's like in the back just chilling and shit. He spaced the fuck out. He's watching his two daughters swimming and shit. They're in the pool and shit. I guess he makes pretty good money because you got a house with a pool in the back and everything else. Good Lord, yo. I ain't think detectives make that much money, but okay, I guess. She hands him the envelope, and it's like, oh, this is from Denzel Washington and shit like that. And he goes, like, all right. He opens it, and it's a red beret thing and shit. All right. But then it goes back to Denzel Washington, where this nigga actually went to the motherfucking dollar store and bought the little beret case and shit, you know what I mean? And it had all different colors like white, black, green, yellow, and then the red one was missing, letting you know that he never really found that beret at Jared Leto's house. So you just went and bought this shit just to go ahead and just make him feel better about killing somebody, about killing an innocent person. That's just my whole thing. Like Denzel, you don't kill somebody that was innocent. Your motherfucking department, even though they sat there and they didn't fire you because you still working in another town, but you still working as the law enforcement. I mean, that killed me right there. I'm like, whoa, Lord, this is how the movie's going to be. And this is why I say the movie didn't have no ending. Because how do we know that, let's say if it wasn't Jared Leto who was killing all these females, right? There's a killer still out there on the loose. And don't you think that after a week, him not showing up at his job, don't you think his boss is going to be like, yo, where the hell is Jared? Like, we got to go find this motherfucker. Where the hell he at? Don't you think they're going to fill out a missing report or something? And don't you think that it's going to come back to you? Because see, on Denzel Washington's case, he shot the chick, right? They send her off and shit to the coroner, and the coroner was like, oh shit, no, there was no gunshot. It was all stab wounds. Cool. So now you pinning a murder on somebody else. Huh? What? It doesn't make any sense. No, it really fucking doesn't. And yeah, that's how the movie ends. Great acting. Jared Leto, great acting. That motherfucker had me thinking like that. Yeah, this motherfucker's the killer. But as the movie went on, you could just tell, like, nah, I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. Denzel Washington, you already know, that's God right there. Like, yo, he could be, I don't know, he could be in the next Superman movie, and it doesn't matter, bro. Like, you're Denzel Washington. I'm gonna believe you all day. And he had some of the coolest lines and shit. Like, he was just like, it's the little things. You know what I mean? Like, bro, great actor. Oh my goodness, great actor, yeah. And then the Malik guy, the guy from Queens. Hey, great acting too by everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna look up who the fuck was in the movie. I just know that was the main characters and shit like that. And yeah, I went from a B to a B minus, and my final score is a C. Because of everything that I just mentioned. If I wasn't paying attention, that's on y'all then. Alright. When you go watch it, I'll recommend for you to watch it. It's fucking Denzel Washington. I see every single Denzel Washington movie. But hey, the little things. I give it a C. Go watch it. Hit that like button, subscribe. Yo, just to get the reviews. Thank you so much for watching, yo. O Nation. Until next time, stay tuned and carry on, everybody.